Hello everybody, welcome to Shane and Stuff. Today I'm going to show you how to play Space Hulk Death Angel, the card game. If you're not aware, today, May 9th, 2017, right now this game is no longer going to be printed, along with all other Fantasy Flight Warhammer games or anything Games Workshop that Fantasy Flight was making. They lost the license or something, but right now this game is running out of supply. It's not going to be reprinted, the price is going up and everyone's picking it up. So I've seen a lot of people asking how to play, if there's good tutorials. I just decided, hey, I'll make my own. I've been playing it a lot and I think I can explain it pretty well. So here we go. I'm going to try to make it quick, clear, concise, so you can just open it and get going. Alright, so let's go. So when you open the box, you're going to get to your manual, and right at the beginning there's some really good Warhammer flavor text here, the mission, and basically the summary is that you're going to take control of a squad of Blood Angel Space Marines, venture into the Space Hulk, and eliminate the Gene Stealer threat. So you need to get to the, the forward launch controls or something and destroy it so the Gene Stealers can't fly the Space Hulk against the Empire or something like that. So anyway, you're going to open the box, you're going to get your event deck, your location, your starting locations, and see each one of these is for the number of players you're playing. You could play 1 to 6 players. Just so you know, if you're reading the rules are assuming a 4-player game, 4 or greater player game. 4, 5, or 6 players, each player will only control 1 unit of Space Marines, but less than that you'll be controlling more than 1. So then you have your regular locations. These are all marked 1A through 4, and these are used to set up the locations you have to survive through in order to beat the game. Then you have your terrains. You have a couple of Broodlords. Those are only used in one of the final rooms. Then you have your blip piles. These are all of the Gene Stealers, the aliens. And basically, I think this game feels like the movie Aliens in a box. And so these are the blip piles. It reminds me of the radar. They would see the floods of aliens coming in. So those are the blips. Blip piles where the Gene Stealers come. Then you have your Space Marines and their action cards. So there's 3 action cards per team and 2 Space Marines per team. So there's red, purple, yellow, I guess that's blue, sort of a gray, and green. Okay. So then you're going to get your support tokens, these little guys, and your squad tokens. And of course, let's not forget this little guy. This is the red die of Doom, really. So it's basically, its faces are 0 to 5. The 1, 2, and 3 have skulls on them. When you're doing a regular attack, the skulls are how you kill things. So if you get a skull result, the number doesn't matter if you're attacking Gene Stealers. It just means you get to kill 1 Gene Stealer. So you have a 50-50 chance of killing a Gene Stealer. The other numbers are used for different things. But when you're being attacked by Gene Stealers, you have to roll a number greater than the number that's attacking you. So even if you're only being attacked by 1 Gene Stealer, you have to roll a 2 or greater. So since this starts at 0, really your chances of rolling 2 or greater are less than on a normal 1 through 6 6-sided die. Okay, so I'm going to be giving the rules for a 1-player game, and I'm going to show you how I set that up. So in a 2 or 3-player game, each player is going to take 2 squad tokens. In a 4, 5, or 6-player game, each player is only going to control 1 squad, but in a 1-player game, you're going to control 3. So far, I've enjoyed doing it randomly. So I number them up. I'm basically, this is 0 through 5. So I'll roll a die, 2, so I'll take that one. Roll again. 1 is that, and 4. So I'll be these 3, gray, purple, and green. So before I get to that, I'll shuffle the event deck. I'll put it up here. I'll shuffle the blip pile. I'll put it up here. I'll take my 1-player starting location, and I'll set up the location deck. So I need 1 card from pile 2, 1 card from pile 3, and 1 card from pile 4. So what that means is you skip 1A, B, and C. Take the 3 cards from pile 2, select one randomly. Then you take the 3 cards from pile 3, select one randomly, and you take the 3 cards from pile 4, select one randomly. However, you want these in ascending order. So you're going to put these above the starting location. So I am team purple, gray, and green. So I'm going to take Space Marines from each squad out and set their action cards aside. Shuffle those, and then I'm going to bring them out. The top 3 are going to face left, the bottom 3 are going to face right. So each Space Marine has a facing. This arrow tells you which way they're facing. So this is facing left, this is facing right. You just flip the card. You go left, 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 right, right, right. So facing is important. To attack Gene Stealers, you're only going to attack the side that you're facing. So if there's Gene Stealers over here, you can't attack over there. Each Marine also has a range. That range is number of spaces away from him he can attack in his facing. So this guy has range 2, so this is 0, 1, 2. He can attack all the way down here or up here. This guy has range 0. He's facing here, so he can only attack a Gene Stealer that's right here. Also, your facing is important because if you're attacked from behind, when you roll a defense die, you cannot re-roll it by spending a support token. So when you get support tokens, you're going to be putting them on your Marines. Those can be used to re-roll a regular attack or a regular defense in your front facing. So a defense from behind, you cannot re-roll. In a multiplayer game, each player will hold their action cards in their hands and they will choose them in secret. I think that sort of simulates the chaos of battle where you don't have time to coordinate and each player does what they think is best and tries to plan for the best. But obviously in a one-player game, you know what you're doing, you can kind of take some time to coordinate. Every team has a support, move and activate, and attack card, and these all have numbers in the upper left corner. And you're going to resolve your actions that you choose in numerical order. Every team will only be able to take one action per round, and you cannot take the same action 2 rounds in a row. So I like to put them over on the side, all face up, and then I use the tokens to select which one I'm going to use. Okay, so since this team has support 1, I'm going to put theirs up top here. Okay, so then gray's support is 6, purple's support is 5. So then you'll notice, in addition to the basic actions, everyone has special text for that team for their actions. So you'll read this text and you'll apply it as if you were using only that team. So this says each time Lexiconium Calistarius, that's this guy right here, he's got his range 2 attack, he's facing right, rolls a skull while attacking, he may immediately make 1 additional attack. So that's awesome. Basically, every time he actually kills a Gene Stealer, he can make 1 more attack. Wonderful. So you definitely want to be attacking with him as much as you can. So like I said, you want to treat these teams as if they're the only one you're using. So when this one says each time one of your attacking Space Marines, it's referring to just the green team. So you can read through those when you start a game, see all the different things you can do. In fact, I don't know if I've played with the gray team, but this card is awesome. After resolving this card's action, you may discard 1 card from either blip pile. You may then spend 1 support token, discard 1 card from the other blip pile. That is super powerful because you're basically just getting rid of Gene Stealers that you need to diminish anyway to move to the next room, because you don't move to the next room until you've depleted 1 of the blip piles. At the end of any phase where the blip pile is depleted, you then move to the next room. Okay, back to setup. So once again, we're going to look at our starting location card. So we're going to need these terrain cards set up for the Void Lock. So let's do that. So we need a door, this, this, and this. So the number means on that side you start at the top and go down, and for the right side you start at the bottom and go up. If you can't reach the total, because as your guys die, your formation's going to shrink and there's not going to be as many spaces. And your guys will die. I think I saw someone say they beat the game with all 6 Marines. That's nearly impossible. Okay, so we need the door at space 1, the dark corner at space 3, corridor at space 2, ventilation duct at space 3. Now you'll notice each of these locations has a color. The color is simply to match the event cards that tells you where to place Gene Stealers, but also they've got a number of bars here. It basically means the higher bars, the more likely Gene Stealers are to spawn there. They also made the colors sort of, matching. So just 1 is green, 2 is yellow, 3 is orange, 4 is red. So once you've set up your terrain, you'll set up your blip piles according to the numbers in the corner of the location card. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each blip pile has 6 cards. Now we draw an event card to spawn the starting Gene Stealers. We ignore this for the first event, just for setup. So when you spawn Gene Stealers, you look at these two things. So it's going to tell you which color and how many. So you use this symbol to consult your location, your starting location. So the red border, yellow inside, you spawn 2, the white you spawn 1. So according to this, we need 2 on orange and 2 on red. 2 Gene Stealers on orange, 2 on red. And now basically you're ready to begin the game. You'll notice the Gene Stealers have these symbols in the bottom corner. That applies in this last spot of the event cards. So the last phase of every round is the event. You draw the event, you read the text. If you're playing a multiplayer game, it says instinct. You read that silently and choose without consulting the other guys. Or other players, I should say. And then this basically means anything with that symbol, any swarm, 1 or more Gene Stealers is a swarm. So they move as a group. So any swarm with that symbol is going to move. Now you notice all of the Marines have these arrows here and arrows here. So it means if they're on the left, they're going to go down. If they're on the right, they're going to go up. So this swarm has the claw. So if that had been the event card, they would move up. But because that's the starting event, you don't do that. But that's what the symbols mean. Some of these, instead of the arrows, there's a sort of curved arrow. That means to flank. So any swarm with the symbol next to the flank will move behind the Space Marine. And as I mentioned, being behind you, they can attack you and you can't re-roll your defense die. So it's not fun being attacked from behind. Okay, so that's it for the setup. So now you're basically going to just start playing through the phases of the game. The objective of the game is to get to the final location and survive it. I think they have different end game conditions. Some of them are just deplete the blip piles and kill all the Gene Stealers. Some of them have more going on. So the phases are very clearly put on the back of the manual. So a game round consists of choose actions, resolve actions, Gene Stealers attack, and event phase, and then you go back. If you travel, here's the steps of travel. Once again, you travel at the end of any phase where a blip pile has been depleted. And after you travel, you pick up at the exact phase that you left off. So if that happened during a Gene Stealer attack phase, you would then continue with the event phase after you travel. So you notice this door has an activate option on it. So anything that has activate on it, you can trigger when you do your move and activate action. If any Marine activates this door, to activate you have to be in front of it and facing it. So when you activate this, you place 1 support token on it, and then when you travel, the current player may first slay 1 Gene Stealer in the formation for each token on this card. Very powerful. You want to get as many tokens as possible on this door. The red team even has an ability where they can put 2 on this card when they activate it, because when you travel, wiping out any Gene Stealers that are there is just too powerful. You have to do that. Okay, so let's just go through the phases. I'm going to show you how each action works after choosing the actions. Okay, so I'm going with attack for green, support for purple, move and activate for gray. And I just simply put the token for each team on the action I'm using, because next choose actions phase, I have to choose a different one. So you can go back and forth each turn between 2 if you want, but you cannot do the same one twice. And so again, you execute them in order of the number in the upper left of the card. So strategize, support for purple goes first. So for support, you place 1 support token on one of your Space Marines. That's the support action. I'm actually going to put the support on Brother Zale, because he's mentioned in the special attack text where he ignores skulls rolled and just slays the number of Gene Stealers in the swarm equal to the number rolled. So for him, the number does matter, and he can kill more than 1 instead of the other guys who just get 1 per skull. So I've put support on him now. It says after resolving this card's action, you may move 1 swarm to an adjacent position and or move it to the other side of the formation. I'm not going to do that because I like where they are right now. Now stealth tactics fires with 8 in the upper left. This is move and activate. Moving means the Marines in that team can swap with anyone in the formation next to them, and then they can change their facing, and then they can activate. So because currently no one is covering this bottom left spot, this guy can shoot all the way down here, but you can only do one attack usually, so he's going to be shooting at this swarm anyway. So I want Lexicanum Calistarius. I'm actually going to swap him and change his facing to left, because he's also mentioned in the attack where when he rolls a skull, he can immediately make another attack. So I want him involved more. Now I'm also going to move Brother Scipio, but I'm going to keep his facing, because he's now that he's in front of the door, he's going to activate it, which places one support token on it. Now the Stealth Tactics text is after resolving, I can discard one card from either blip pile. Then I can spend a support token to discard one card from the other blip pile. Now remember what it says, you may, that's whoever's controlling this team only. So for me, even though I'm controlling 3 teams, it only applies to that team. So none of them have support tokens, so I'm not going to do the second. But I'm going to discard from the blip pile on the red side, since we know red has more chance of spawning, and we want to deplete the blip pile so we can travel. Now green is going to attack. So green's attack is each time one of your attacking Space Marines rolls a 4, slay up to 3 Gene Stealers from the defending swarm. That is awesome. So Noctis is going to attack these Gene Stealers. So remember, a skull kills 1, and for this team a 4 kills 3. And I rolled a 5, so he totally misses, and he has no support token, so I can't re-roll it. Now Sergeant Gideon is going to attack this swarm. So he rolled a 2, which is just a skull, so he's going to kill 1. So I'm going to kill the one with the tail symbol, just because we've already seen a card with a claw, so maybe the next one's going to involve the guys with the tail, so I just want everything to stay where it is right now. One good reason for that is this guy has a range 2, so he can currently shoot him, so if this guy moves up, then he's going to miss, and there's actually nobody covering this space, so I'm definitely going to need to probably move and activate purple, flip their facing, so that we can cover these spaces, and so on and so on. But I'm not going to show all of that. But that is the end of the resolve action phase, so now we move on to Gene Stealer's attack. So you're going to go top to bottom, left to right for swarms to attack. So this swarm attacks Noctis first. So remember, you have to roll a number greater than the number of Gene Stealers in the swarm. So I need a 3 or better. 50-50 chance on a 5-numbered die. Rolled a 1. Here's the fun part of this game. He is straight up dead. Failure, you're just dead. Okay, so when the formation breaks, the smaller side is going to move to the bigger side. This makes some differences sometimes with the terrain and Gene Stealers, how they combine and everything. So, but basically for this one, the same effect is just moving this up and then moving all these guys up. The terrains go with them. Now, every swarm only attacks once. So if there had been a swarm on this side and then now they're here, that swarm would still need to attack because only this side attacked. If this guy had gone into next to this guy, it would not still attack. So, but anyway, so this swarm needs to attack Sergeant Gideon, so I need a 2 or greater because there's 1 in the swarm and I need to be greater than the swarm. There we go. Just barely hit it with a 2. So he's safe. That's the end of Gene Stealer's attack. So we go to the event phase. We draw the event card. So Instinct, in a 1-player game, you just do it. Choose a Space Marine with at least 1 support token. Discard all of his support tokens. That's lovely. So I only have 1 with a support token, so I now have no more support tokens. Now we spawn Gene Stealer, so we need 2 on red, 1 on green. So just like we thought, we're going to get more on red. This blip pile after this only has 2 cards left. So 2 guys with that tongue symbol. And then all of the Gene Stealers with that head are going to move. So this swarm's going to move down 1. This swarm's not going to move. There's nothing with that head. So Sergeant Gideon is now surrounded. So that's not good. So we're going to have to figure out how to get him out of that. And of course, he's now got a swarm of 3 next to him, which means he would have to roll a 4 or 5 to not die there. But that's cool, because green has a block support, so we can support, give him a token. Each time he is rolling a skull while defending, the attack straight up misses. So he has a lot more possibilities of being safe. So that's not the worst thing. And we can attack with purple. So he's going to attack here and hopefully dwindle that swarm. Then gray will probably attack here, and he can attack if he kills one. So all good stuff. So that's the end of the event phase, so then we would start back again at the select actions phase. So I would need to select a different one than attack for green, a different one than support for purple, and a different one that move and activate for gray. So now let's pretend that we depleted this blip pile, and it's the end of some phase. So now we're going to travel. So when you travel, you place a new location card, place your terrain cards, discard and refill blip piles, and the follow any location upon entering ability. Okay? So place new location card. So we grab that location card that we set up here, the 2, and we place it. So you're going to keep the spawn numbers visible, but the blip numbers on the new location apply. And you're actually going to reset the blip piles. So we're going to put this here. We're now in the black holds location. We're going to remove... Oh, by the way, remember last time... So if we traveled, we then can slay one Gene Stealer on the formation for each token on this card. So there's one token right now, so let's, reduce that to 2 so we don't have 2 swarms. So they're at least the same size, as small as they can be. So then we're going to take all the terrain cards, leave the Gene Stealers where they are, and now we're going to put terrain out for the new card. So we need a corridor in space 2, a door in space 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Promethean tank in space 2, and a ventilation duct in space 3. What's a Promethean tank, you say? I'm glad you asked. You activate it, you discard this terrain card and slay all the Gene Stealers on this position. Then you roll a die. If you roll a 0, slay this Space Marine. So it's basically like blowing up a tank, flammable tank, and killing a bunch of Gene Stealers. But of course, whoever blows it up has a 1 in 6 chance of dying as well. So after placing the terrains, you discard and refill blip piles. So we need 5 on the left and 6 on the right. And now we follow the location upon entering ability. The current player chooses a swarm, if able, and spawns 2 Gene Stealers on it. If 0 swarms are in the formation, this has no effect. So that's lovely. So now one of these swarms is going to grow by 2. Once you do that, you then pick up wherever you left off. So if that was at the end of a resolve actions phase, then you would start right at the Gene Stealer attack phase, which would really suck for whoever just got those extra 2 Gene Stealers. So then you keep going, you keep trying to survive, try to get to that final room, you do what you need to do to win, and hopefully you are victorious. So that's how to play. I am currently trying to capture a win on video. I guess since I already have this set up, maybe I'll just keep going. Although, I really didn't properly shuffle the decks since last game, so maybe I'll keep these teams and reset and start recording and see if I can get a win. But that's it. Hopefully this tutorial helps you. If you liked it, please subscribe to my channel, like the video, and tell your friends. Go out and get this game if you don't have it yet before it's going to be super expensive and not be available anymore. This is one game that really does a lot with a little, and it's just amazing. So get it, enjoy it, and I'll talk to you later. End of line.